series finale of Ash vs. the Evil Dead. Ah! It's great. Okay, all right. So, full disclosure, I didn't know this show even existed until last year at Howl-O-Scream. I went to I'm a big Halloween guy, so like I go to Howl-O-Scream, which is not the actual event. I live in Tampa. We have Busch Gardens here, so I go to Howl-O-Scream. But I don't just go to Howl-O-Scream. If I can, I go to Halloween Horror Nights. Because it's Halloween Horror Nights, they have like movie licenses. They have like an Aliens house and a Freddy Krueger house, and they have all your favorite. One of the best years I went was Cabin in the Woods and Resident Evil, which was based off of the games. It starts off with Leon on top of a cop car calling for backup while zombies are wandering around and there are lickers and the whole thing. It's Nemesis is there. Jill, a really sexy Jill, was hiding behind a wall. It was great. It was like Halloween Horror Nights does great Halloween stuff. So I went last year, and one of the first houses there was Ash vs. the Evil Dead. So I go into it thinking it's just, oh, okay, it's an Evil Dead house. Cool, I'll check it out. And I'm looking at this thing, and the promos in the queue are like this TV show, and it's like, what? Look, I've been in the Navy for 2 years, okay? I've been kind of sequestered. I've been kind of like, not knowing what's going on out there. But yeah, I just found out that, yeah, there's Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell have done a freaking, a whole series based off of Evil Dead. And it looked really, really cool. So, what did I do when I got home? I immediately checked it out, and I fucking love it. And I watched all of season 1 and 2, and then I went to Pensacon earlier this year, and I met Dana DeLorenza, and she is freaking awesome. She was one of the coolest people at the convention. She gave me 2 autographs, like one I paid for, and then she found out I was Navy, and she gave me one for serving, and was really sweet. And in fact, hang on, I'll show it. I'll show it in a minute. Yeah. She actually did that. She actually was really sweet and really awesome. And I actually got the heads up from her that yeah, they're not renewing us the next season. So yeah, but I guaranteed I had to see this season, and I loved it. There was a couple things I was a little worried about. Like I was a little worried that like, oh, is Ash's daughter going to be a pain in the ass? They really made me like Brandy. They really made me like Ash's daughter and really just think she's great as a character. I thought it was really cool in the episode before this where she's going to kill the deadite phone of her mom, and she's got this like maniacal look in her eye, and it's just like come on, bitch, and she like mows it and blood spatters in his face. Like like daughter like daughter like father, man. It's there. Something I've hammered home, especially again with a lot of my hatred for the current direction we got to go in Star Wars. Again, Ash vs. the Evil Dead is how you do a legacy story. You don't just bring the old character back and sit him in a chair and say now you just sit here, Grandpa, which is what we again. And I liked The Force Awakens, and time will tell if I would continue to like it. I might watch too many Jesse Milestone videos and then maybe not like it anymore. I don't know. That woman's convincing, but what happens in this show? What happens in this show is you come here to see Bruce. You come here to see Bruce Campbell be Ash and be a badass and be like groovy. Hail to the king, baby. And he does that. And he's awesome. And he gets to do everything he wants to do. But he's not alone this time. It's not just him versus the world this time. This time he has a bunch of awesome supporting characters who he props up. And they in turn prop him up. I fucking love Pablo. He's a brujo especial. He's just fucking great. I love Dana. And that's not just because I met her and she's awesome. I mean, it's part of it. But it's like, even before that, it's like, first of all, she is filthy and fine. Yeah. And she's a fucking badass. Like, I will fuck your face with bullets. It's just like, she is like the muscle. She's like whereas Pablo was the mystic, she is like the fighter. And, you cannot go wrong with Xena. You cannot go wrong with Lucy Lawless as Ruby. And just a stellar fucking performance by Lucy Lawless. For 3 whole fucking seasons. Where she was like the mysterious stranger at first, then the villain, then the hero, then the villain again. It's just phenomenal, and it was just a very awesome, satisfying ending. We got tons of awesome fights with Deadites. We had the final stand of everybody. We brought Kelly back to life, and Pablo and Kelly can finally be together. And what happens? Ash accepts responsibility, gives his well wishes and his love to every single one of the people closest to him. telling Brandy he's always gonna love her, and she's doing this for him. Telling Kelly that basically, they're gonna need a leader out there, and you're strong. You're the one to do it. And Pablo, you're a Huffy now. And then he goes like a badass, takes a tank, puts the Kandarian dagger on a warhammer, and shoots a giant devil in the fucking face, and it's fucking metal. And then that ending. That ending. Sam got to do what he always wanted to do. There's always that special footage that that alternate ending of Army of Darkness where Ash goes back to the present day and finds that the world is now a dystopian. It's now an apocalypse ruled by Deadites. Well, we finally got to see that. It's like that's the conclusion of the Evil Dead universe, is that Deadites and demons have overrun the earth. We are in a demon apocalypse, a Deadite apocalypse now. But there is still hope. First of all, he gets a sexy-ass fucking robot cyborg lady to help him out. A souped-up Delta, like a Doomslayer. I forget the name of like what the car was called in Army of Darkness. But it was when he had the big... It was the Delta. It was still the Delta, but it had big spinny blades on the front of it. And in the comments, someone remind me what it is. I forget what it was. And we got the awesome like space trucker song. And it's like, the adventure. This was a conclusion, and for all we know, this is just the end. This is the last thing Evil Dead will ever see. But there is room to grow. There is room to grow. There's room for more adventures. Like maybe the show will get renewed. Maybe we'll get a movie. Maybe we'll just get awesome comics and novels and video games like we had with Evil Dead before. But whatever, man. There's room for Ash to continue to have adventures in the post-apocalypse, and the other heroes are out there too, and that's freaking great. One thing that went through my head watching it was, I also, at a Pensacon 2 years prior to this last one, where I met Dana, I met Nancy Collins, who's an awesome comic books writer and artist for, I think she works for Dynamite right now. She's done a lot of, she's worked on Vampirella, she's worked with Gail Simone, they had a big, I think it was called Sovereign, but it was one where basically Red Sonja, Deja Thoris, and Vampirella, as well as a bunch of other awesome female characters, teamed up with each other. Side note on Gail Simone, I mean, I try to avoid listening to these people on Twitter, so, I mean, I don't know if, by all means, inform me. I don't want to hear bad news, but go ahead. If Gail Simone's been on the Twitter and been stupid on the Twitter as Mark Waid has, I'm disappointed. The thing, I've always liked Gail Simone as a writer. Gail Simone is very, very talented, and she can write in both men and women equally. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like the reason she's considered an SJW is not necessarily because she writes like an SJW. It's because I would disagree. I would say she doesn't. I mean, go check out her run on Deadpool, her run on Agent X. Go check out Secret Six and Villains United. Go check out her work on Wonder Woman. She's a good writer. Go check out her work on Batwoman. She's a good writer. She's very talented at this. I'm well aware the climate at Marvel is fucked up right now. But I again, like Doug and Rob, I see good in her. And so you want to tell me the story with all these badass classic female characters that Dynamite has the rights to are going to go on an adventure together? Sign me the fuck up. Anyway, so Nancy was part of that project, but she was going to do some work on the Evil Dead, the Army of Darkness comics, and her idea for a story, and she's probably already. I need to go down to my comic shop and check it out and see if this has already been printed or not. If it is, let me know. I'll go fucking buy it right now. But she had her premise for a story was it's in a dystopian future where the Deadites have taken over the world, and a resistance movement approaches an older and reluctant Ash to lead them. And the resistance movement is naturally made up of humans, but not just humans. It's also made up of other monsters, like vampires and werewolves and stuff, who have an uneasy alliance with the humans for obvious reasons, including like the humans are actually donating their blood to keep the vampires alive and things like that. But the reason the monsters are helping the humans out is because Deadites don't play nice with other monsters. They don't play nice with vampires or werewolves and things like that. They treat them like shit too. So you got this awesome. So we now have this ending where that storyline can take place if it hadn't already taken place otherwise. But it's like. Yeah, and essentially ideas for a new series of a show or a movie, adapt Nancy Collins' comics. That'd be freaking awesome. Also, you have, I'd love to do this, and I'd love if we could somehow convince, like, Robert Englund to step out of retirement and, like, be in one more movie. You've got the Ash versus Jason, no, the Freddy versus Jason versus Ash comics. The second one is the one where Freddy Krueger gets his hands on the Necronomicon, uses it to, I believe he uses it to take over Jason Voorhees, and he creates an army of Deadites that he then takes over the United States with. We could see that. This is a story, and Ash has to team up with classic characters, all the classic characters from both Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th in order to stop them. Including, like, the ending includes Nancy's ghost showing up and blowing the fuck out of Freddy Krueger, just beating the shit out of him. So, like, we could tell that story in this. I mean, it's dystopian. I want to say that was take place in a non-apocalyptic world, although that situation was apocalyptic. But it's like, this is a perfect opportunity to tell those types of stories. So there's plenty of good room here. And all in all, again, the reason why I keep on bringing up other franchises in relation to Star Wars is, again, this is how you do it. You just tell a good story. You tell a good story. Don't like do all this bullshit where we're insisting on, like, you know, on showing strong female characters. And again, Sarah Connor didn't have to do that. Linda Hamilton, Sarah Connor never had to do that. Sigourney Weaver's Ripley never had to do that. They just were strong, but they were a woman first. They were a character first. You know, Ripley was just a person in a crazy situation who had to be strong to survive. So she did. And she is way more badass than anything that's being written at Marvel right now could ever, like SJW Marvel could ever, like, hope to live up to. And it was all by just being a good character first. You know, it was same thing with Sarah Connor from the Terminator movies. Just write good characters. Write good characters, and strength will come. You don't always have to write a strong character. You can show cowardly characters. There's all different types of personalities out there. And we need to get back to writing. And it's the type of thing where I think as fans we need to just kind of take back our franchises. Yeah. So, but that's my thoughts on the finale of Ash vs. the Evil Dead. It's fucking badass. It was great. It really did test the mettle of man, and man won. It was awesome. Great show. Dread Pirate signing off. I almost forgot my autographs from Dana DiLorenzo. Here we go. All right, so here we have basically her with Ashy Slashy, little puppet, puppet Ash that's going on right here, and he always bring a gun to a puppet fight. So this is the one I paid for. This is really sweet. But this is, and that's really awesome. That's really cool. But this is the one that means the most to me. This is the one we have with Dana here. Beautiful shot right here. This one she gave to me for free, and she said, "Eddie, thanks for serving. You're a real hero." And this means a lot to me. This was really sweet. She didn't have to do this, and all I did in the Navy was clean the ship anyway. But it really meant a lot to me. She was really sweet and really awesome, and very supportive of our troops. And again, I mean, the thing is, like, a lot, actors and storytellers and artists, they always inspire me. That's why I'm doing this kind of stuff right now. But, to show that they're giving love to, giving love to the troops and things like that, and supporting us is really cool. But yeah, so she's awesome. She's a great person. If you can see her at convention, she was hands down one of the coolest things about Pensacon. With the possible exception of this lovely lady, Virginia Hay of Road Warrior and Farscape. She's part of the reason I went to Pensacon two times in a row, because she just kicks ass. I'm a huge Farscape fan. It's one of my favorite sci-fi shows. So for those of you Star Wars fans out there who haven't checked out Farscape, what the fuck's wrong with you? Check it out, man. It's of the same genre of it. But yeah, Virginia is like the sweetest person in the world. So maybe I'll do a video sometime where I'll show my autographs here. I got a lot of really good swag at Pensacon. But anyway, I wanted to, again, Dana's awesome. Ash vs. the Evil Dead's awesome. Go check it out. Whatever she's in next, go support it. Go watch it. It's great. Whatever Bruce is in next, go watch it and support it. Whatever Sam does, go watch it and support it. I don't care if, like, Sam does, like, a Spider-Man 3 Part 2, where this time it's just all bad dancing. I don't care. They're fucking metal. Check it out. This is the Dread Pirate saying, have a good night, folks.